Standby please, electric sound, wardrobe, wig, stage management, stage crew, flyers and all technical departments.
Welcome to Leave the Ghost Light On.
Oh, man.
Here's a Kiri pup for everyone.
Hi, Cutie Pup. It's kind of fun. We're both in different places right now. I guess, you've always been
we
there.
kind of always are in different places.
No. So, like where we're recording. But, for you, I guess,
well,
you're in the same spot, just without a
I'm
screen.
usually in Raleigh. But yeah, it looks different because this is my new apartment, but I've been finagling the background, and so the cute little it's not a shoji screen, but like the room dividey screen dude. I've been messing with it, so we'll see. So welcome to a few boxes that I haven't been able to unpack because I don't have a bookshelf to put those books on.
That's fine. Well, I'm in a hotel room in Portland, Maine.
Woo! Living that overhire life.
Yep. I'm gonna do freelance. So, oh my gosh, go away, bug. Really quick for everybody who's watching, bug right around my face. My microphone is currently in my steel toe.
Yay! We're utilitarian.
Yay! I know. I was like walking around the apartment, or not the apartment, the hotel. Like, what can I stick this microphone in? Because I can't just sit here and hold it. And so, because that will make noise, and I won't be able to sit still with it. And I was like looking around. And I was trying to prop it up on stuff, and then I was like, I need to just like put it in a cup, but a cup is too light. And then I was like, I do have a steel toe. So.
Useful for more than just shoes.
Exactly. And it's also like a high, like what an ankle one, a high ankle one. So it's like holding it up. If it works,
so
it
effective.
Works.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man. How's your week going?
I started rehearsal for Mr. Burns on Sunday. So
it's nice.
Super, super cool, super exciting. Things are coming together really quickly, which is so much fun. Like we've the second act, there's a whole, it's called Chart Hits, and it's basically a medley of popular songs from like things that everybody would recognize from like the last 20 years or so. But there are only 3 songs that are mentioned or referenced anywhere in the show. So we have to include those 3. So those 3, and they're weird, is Toxic by Britney Spears.
Nice.
Lose Yourself, the Eminem song, and Livin' La Vida Loca.
An interesting variety.
Yes. So to complete the medley, though, I had everybody throw out ideas of, what other things that would you say are songs that somebody would recognize that have not like just are popular, because then they would throw out like Chapel Roan or whatever, or Sam Smith. And I was like, no, something that everyone would recognize that has staying power over the last like 20, 30 years. They threw out so many cool ones, and I'm so excited. I've actually been playing on Audacity today to try to figure out how to arrange it, because it's a cappella. So I'm doing the a cappella arranging. Even though this time I do have a music director, because the last time I directed this, I didn't. And I did the same kind of thing, but with a bunch of different songs. So it's so much fun. I never remember how much I really like arranging this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But they're so good, and I don't really want to give away what they are because they're really good.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll tell you, because I don't know that you'll have a chance to see it, but people that might, I don't want to give it away.
Okay. Yeah, you can text me. You can text me about it later. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, so we're having fun.
Yeah, that's so fun. Nice. Yeah,
how's your week and freelancing going?
It's good. So I've done some shifts at the Silverton, which is where I mermaid. And then I've been painting a giant mushroom for something that's going to be in New York with
Oh.
somebody that I do stuff with in Vegas. And then now I'm here in Portland.
Yay.
So,
Woo.
although I'll be at, was it Agunquit Playhouse?
Algonquin. Yeah.
Agunquit. Yeah, Agunquit Playhouse tomorrow. So doing my
Nice.
first shift. So,
Woo.
yeah. So we're getting into it.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm doing the things. So,
fun stuff.
yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, hopefully this recording's not too bad since I'm using hotel Wi-Fi currently. So,
I mean, it seems to be sounding okay so far. So we'll see what happens during editing.
I know, right? To me, like I was just saying, I was like, as long as the sound is good, that's fine. If we're frozen here and there, it's gonna happen.
We'll be frozen in the most ridiculous faces, I'm sure. Like
That's-
that just happened, and it would, yes, some of them are going to be excellent.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can't wait to see what they look like.
Mhm. Well, and like on my end, you're the one who freezes, but on your end, I'm the
It's
one
you.
who freezes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's see
Like-
what the recording
Like,
does.
girl, I could tell you it ain't me because I got that Google Fiber now.
Oh no, I know it's not you, but I'm interested to see what the StreamYard online like.
Yeah,
stuff.
what it thinks.
Mhm. It's gonna be like, I can't.
How do you?
I don't know. Oh
Oh, boy.
man. Well, I am excited about the one that I have for you
Mhm.
today. So
I'm pretty excited about mine because when I got into it, I was like, I feel like this is going to be a good one. And the more I got into it, I was like, oh.
Mhm. This was a fun one where it was like, I thought it was just one story because I'm doing the tragedy this week, but it's
Mhm.
like multiple things have actually happened,
Ooh.
which is like, ooh, okay. Not to be like, ooh, about tragedies.
But listen, interesting is interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a reason it's as popular as it is nowadays. So yeah. But anyway, well, shall we just get right into it?
Yeah. Oh, hey, welcome to Leave the Ghost Light On, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, that's right. Hi, welcome to
That's
Leave
us.
the Light On. We
We're-
haven't been saying that this last couple of times, so I just
didn't
gave
even
up.
realize that. I was like, ha, 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 ha. I mean, you clicked on it. You know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Really quick, what mugs are you drinking? Anything?
So I've got my regular water because I'm being a good child, but then
Mhm.
I also have my I don't remember what these are called. The like travel. It's a
Oh, like-
travel
A wine
It's
cooler.
a travel wine cup thing. It's my sippy
Yeah.
cup from My Favorite Murder. So it says "Stay sexy, don't get murdered," and I'm drinking
Nice.
a heavily ginned gin and tonic.
Nice.
I ain't going
Well,
nowhere.
I have the fanciest of mugs right now.
Yeah, girl, get that plastic.
Got a plastic
Recyclable.
I know, right? I got a plastic hotel cup, and then I've got my coffee in another paper hotel cup.
Living the
I'm
high
drinking-
life.
You're right, but I'm drinking barefoot Pinot Grigio
Oh,
from
yeah.
the gas station down the road.
We are so fucking glad.
We're so cool because I looked up a liquor store last night and I couldn't find any, and it just took me to a Circle K, and I was like,
Well,
okay,
beggars can't be choosers.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So,
man, we do
oh,
what we can.
I know, right? I'm doing the best that we can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Pinot Grigio, so I'll drink it. It's fine.
It's wine, you know. It's
Yeah,
it's basically wine.
exactly. It's, I don't know if barefoot is, but I mean, it's the best quality of wine.
I'll take your $8 bottle of wine.
I love that one. Ugh, that is what it was. I like went to the gas station and I found a $5 bottle of wine, and then the barefoot was like $8. And I immediately grabbed the $5 one and then looked at it and was like, I don't know what this is, but I can do a little better than this.
My standards might be subpar, but they're still standards.
Oh
What a
man.
week.
Oh my gosh.
The
Okay.
standards are in the basement, but you know, it's a wine basement.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, you just froze really hardcore.
You
So I'm
did.
just gonna laugh and pretend.
Yes, yes. Who's to say who's even freezing at this point? Anyway,
Yeah.
so tell me about your horrible tragedies. I'm very excited to hear about.
Yes. Okay. So today, I am doing the Met Opera
Woo!
or the Metropolitan Opera House,
Ooh.
which is in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, New York City.
New York City.
New York City. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm going to be referring it to the Met Opera. So apparently I didn't know this, but the original Met Opera was actually on Broadway and 39th Street, like right in the Broadway district. So the one that we know of now is in, like I said, that's on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and it moved in 1966.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This theater has about almost 4,000 seats in its house, and it is considered the largest repertory opera house in the world.
I did not know either of those things.
I know. I didn't know it either. Like, I mean, this place is big. Also, just a really quick thing that I'm going to throw out there. This is not where the Met Gala happens.
Yeah, no. Yes, let's be clear about that.
I always think it's like, no, it's at that one's at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Yeah. But yeah. So it was about in the 1920s, because the original Met Opera opened in 1883, and they decided around the mid-20s that it was kind of time to maybe move locations and move it away so it can get a little bigger and they can just build a brand new theater. But of course, as always, what happened in the 1920s?
The depression.
The depression and the stock market crash. And so therefore it got super duper duper postponed. I thought this was kind of funny. This went through 43 redesigns before it was finally built.
Like, I'm sorry, that cost too much money. Also, that cost too much money. Also, we don't have any money.
Right, we don't have any money. So yeah, so basically it was being redesigned for 40 years. So because like I said, 1920s, and then it would open eventually in 1966. And it opened with the world premiere of Antony and Cleopatra.
Oh.
So I've never heard of that show, but it sounds cute.
I mean, I know the Shakespeare.
Oh, okay. Well.
And it's basically at this point, just assume that any Shakespeare has basically been turned into an opera is pretty accurate.
That's fair. That makes sense.
So you know what? I bet Troilus and Cressida hasn't. I bet Cymbeline hasn't. I bet Coriolanus hasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the big ones probably have. I'm by no means an opera know-it-all. So.
Yeah, me neither. I've maybe seen like one or two operas in my life, like actual real operas, not just Phantom of the Opera.
I've worked a few of them.
Oh yeah,
nice. Yeah. So I've worked at University of Memphis when we they used to hire us from the theater because they're like, hey, wait, you guys know how to build and paint things?
Like,
you want to get paid for that some more? Like, fucking
yes, I do. Nice. Well, yeah. Okay. So back to it. So September 16th, 1966 is when this building opened, and the Met ended up being one of the most technologically advanced stages in the world, with an array of hydraulic elevators and motor stage and rigging equipment. So today the Opera House is still obviously operating and running operas. And when the Metropolitan Opera is on hiatus during the spring season, the American Ballet Theater takes over and shows stuff. Okay. So usually there's always something running in there.
I didn't know they shared that space. That's cool.
Yeah. As of May 2017, that was the Met Opera's 50th anniversary. And they but in those 50 years, hosted over 11,000 performances and 164 different operas.
Jesus. Sorry, can you hear her panting? She's so loud to me. She's real cute.
She's like, what, mama?
She's so cute.
So I didn't know this, but can you guess how many stories tall the Met is?
Well, I'm imagining they probably have a fly system. How many stories tall? Probably like 4.
14.
What? For why?
5 of which are underground.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the 5 of the stories are underground. That's like where all like their dressing rooms, that's where like their like sewing areas, their prop stuff, like that's where all of that is.
That's fucking baller.
I know, right? Yeah, when I read that I was like, that's massive.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm. Yes. So,
Jesus.
no, right?
Okay.
This place is massive. I mean, it makes sense. It's the biggest freaking regional theater in the world. So,
Yeah, when you say like 4,000 seats, I'm like, okay, that's like, do we know how big is the Madison Square Garden?
oh, I don't know, but that's technically an arena, though, right?
Right. I was like, I wonder how many seats that is because like I've been there and I'm like trying to
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know if I've been inside a place that was like a theater, like a legit theater space that could hold that many people.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes down to like the actual design of the theater in general, there doesn't have like any type of like stylizedness that it's going for. Basically, it's just grand and luxurious and just big. So for this, for example, they have like a very big grand staircase, a very big grand lobby. The front facade, which I'm sure you have seen pictures of, is just
Yeah.
giant, large glass everywhere. So it doesn't really have any type of like style necessarily. I did think that this was kind of cool. The centerpiece of the lobby is an array of 11 crystal chandeliers resembling constellations that were donated by the government of Austria.
Whoa.
Yeah. Apparently it was like a thank you present for helping them in the war.
Oh. Well, thank you,
Thank
Austria.
you.
Hats off.
Hats off. No, thank
Hats off
you
to Austria.
for your chandeliers. But yeah, they are very, very, very pretty. And then the inside of the theater is completely covered. There's this is ridiculous. There's 3,000 square feet of velour, red velour that's covering the walls as well as the front of the house space. And then everything is either gold leaf, bronze, or Italian marble and concrete.
Listen, I'll be honest. Anytime I hear red velour,
I
all I
know.
can think about is Zap Brannigan from Futurama. Velour.
Velour. I love it. This is actually super duper cool. So the inside the auditorium inside the theater, on the ceiling, and I looked at a picture of it because it's going to sound kind of weird, but on the ceiling there are 4,000 squares of gold leaf covered domed petal shapes on the ceiling.
Whew.
So basically, like, it doesn't make like a flower or anything, but it's like these gigantic, like big gold ovals that just are the entire ceiling. It almost
Damn.
looks like, kind of looks like scales a little bit, but like
Ooh.
all like layered in funky ways.
Huh.
So, and naturally, there's another 21 crystal chandeliers inside there as well.
Well, I mean, there can't not be.
I know, of course. I don't know if those ones came from Austria. It didn't say, but let's just pretend that they also came from Austria. We like really helped them.
They're like, here's $100 million worth of crystal, but can you go ahead and only put it in this one building for us?
Only in this one
Thanks.
building. Thanks, guys.
That's our thanks to this building.
Yeah, to this building. Oh my gosh. The walls, so just a couple more things. The walls of the auditorium are paneled in a rosewood that's noted for its acoustic quality, because
Ooh.
naturally they're going to have some of the best
Smart.
acoustics in that building.
Smart.
And then I mentioned it a second ago, but the stage is one of the largest and most complex stages in the entire world. It extends 80 feet deep from the curtain to the rear wall.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then I've got like a couple of like weird little things just about the stage. So overall, the dimensions of the stage with the wing space are 90 feet by 103 feet wide. Yeah. Right. The stage is massive. I think it said it's the largest. Yeah, it's the largest in the world.
Fuck. Yeah, yes, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The stage contains 7 hydraulic elevators that are all 60 feet wide with
I'm
double.
sorry, what?
I don't know. There's no way that's right.
How? No, that's
No.
incorrect.
I'm
That
gonna
does not,
edit
like,
that out.
I'm not great with math, but like that does not
Yeah,
math.
I don't know what that is. Anyway, we'll edit that out. Okay, the stage contains 7 hydraulic elevators, and there are 3 slip stages and 2 double decks.
Holy crap.
This thing is ridiculous. You know what? Really quick, what I wonder if that was trying to say is the hydraulic elevators, I'm guessing, are like where the stage just goes up and down.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's probably saying that one of those is 60
Is 60
feet
feet
that can go
wide.
up and down.
Okay.
That's going to be my
That would
guess.
make sense, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause that's exactly what O is. It's just a big
Mhm.
hydraulic stage. We just so happen to
Yeah.
have water, but we don't have to
I
have
mean,
water.
every time I think about the Met, the first production that comes to mind is Robert Lepage's version of the Ring Cycle, and the Ring Cycle is that 17-hour Wagner opera.
That's
But
insane.
it had like an entire 360 rotating axis of individual wood pieces. Like, imagine, so here's the
Mhm.
stage floor, and there's like effectively, think of like a beam going across, and on the
Mhm.
beam there are, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 individually rotating pieces of wood.
Oh, okay.
So they all rotate. It is wild.
Huh.
It is as wild as I just made my hair look.
I know. I was gonna say you're like,
Wild. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Every single actor is in a harness because the whole thing
it's just
rotates
moving,
360
rotating.
degrees.
Huh.
It's fucking wild.
Dang. I'll have to look that up.
It's
Nice.
not. Anyway,
Makes
yeah, go
sense.
on.
Makes sense. That's at the Met Gala, not the Met Gala, the Met Opera, not the Met Gala, the Met Opera. So, because I mean that place, yeah, it seems like
Yeah,
this place
it's
is crazy.
wild. Robert
So,
Lepage, man, fucking
mm,
wild.
mm-hmm. So, okay, but that is all the stats of the theater, and so now it is time for us to talk about some tragedies.
Woo! I mean, boo.
I mean, boo. So, I think this might be the first tragedy that we've had of its kind. Congratulations, there are no fires that took place at the Met Opera.
Colored me shocked.
I know, right? It's incredible because I was like, I'm not doing another one. I need a break. Okay, so this first part is going to be the story of Helen. I just practiced her name. Mittix. I'm going to say
Sure.
Mittix. Helen Mittix. So Helen Mittix was a Juilliard graduate and an award-winning violinist. She performed her first solo with the Seattle Symphony when she was only a teenager.
Ugh.
I know, good for her.
You know, normal stuff, whatever.
Normal stuff, yeah. So when it was on July 23rd in 1980, and Helen was performing with the Berlin Ballet at the Met Opera. She was about 30 years old, and at this point, she was like in the height of her career. They were performing the Firebird, Five Tangos, Don Quixote, and Miss Julie.
Wow.
Yeah, they were doing a whole.
Miss Julie's an opera too?
I guess so.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I've at least heard of the Firebird.
Yeah.
And Don Quixote, but
yeah.
I don't know if I've heard the opera Don Quixote. Maybe just the man.
Probably just the musical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man of La Mancha.
I am my Don Quixote.
Not the man of La Mancha.
Yes,
Bet you that's not going to line up at all, but it's going to be beautiful.
Still fun.
So during this performance, obviously that is a long performance. It's 4 different operas. The orchestra ended up taking a 45-minute long intermission while a recording of Five Tangos played and the ballet continued going on.
Oh, okay.
So when the orchestra returned to play Don Quixote at 9:30, the chair in the violin section was empty. The chair belonging to Helen. The orchestra continued to play without Helen, and it wasn't until after the show ended at 11:30 that people started to worry. Her fellow musicians were worried, but what? What? Sorry. The hell did I write? Sorry. Her fellow musicians were worried and didn't suspect that she had just simply left because of like an illness or an emergency because her violin was still left on her chair.
Oh.
Yeah. Because, when they, I guess for this intermission, like they got up and they left all of their instruments on stage.
Oh, okay.
So-
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes
Mhm.
sense then. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't have been concerned when she's not there when you start the
I know,
next
right?
show?
I guess they were like, maybe she's just in the bathroom. Who
Maybe
knows?
she
But
went
yeah.
to sleep. I don't know.
But yeah, so basically 2 hours went by and Helen never returned to her seat. And her fellow musicians really got worried and called the authorities once they discovered that like her street clothes and the clothes that she had arrived in were still in her locker. So she was just straight up missing.
What?
So the police began searching the entire building ASAP. And as I mentioned, it is a giant theater. And so it was around 8:30 in the morning when they finally found Helen. Her body was discovered in a ventilation shaft after she was thrown from the 6-story rooftop.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a true crime today.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So she was thrown from the 6th story of the Met and landed in a ventilation shaft, and she had fallen over 45 feet, and she was presumed to have died at some time during the second act, and her autopsy showed that the fall was, in fact, what killed her.
Oh my god.
And she was only 30 years old. So, but when they found her, she was blindfolded and her wrist and ankles were bound.
Whoa. Okay, because there was a moment that I was like, is that a suicide? Okay. Definitely not.
Yeah, she was blindfolded and her wrists and ankles were tied.
Oh my god.
So over 25 detectives, as soon as they found her, began to interview the 800 staff members that were there that night. Because of the complexity, I thought this is just a tiny bit funny, but because of the complexity and precision of the knots, authorities kind of assumed that a stagehand was responsible.
Ooh.
Which to me, I'm like, I don't know any stagehands that can actually tie good knots.
I do.
You do. I know, like,
Yeah.
not that many. Like, to me, that would like cut down so much if they were like, who tied this bloody blah clove hitch shenanigans? It'd be like, I don't know. He's the only one who knows how to do it. Yeah. Yes, it was Jesse White. It was obviously him. But they also,
yes, it was him.
Right. They also kind of assumed that it was a stagehand because of how intricate and crazy the backstage of the Met is. It's literally a maze back there.
Oh, so you have to know where you're going and
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they assumed it probably wasn't an audience member. It probably wasn't somebody random who just like came in. It's going to be somebody who knows the Met.
Oh, so maybe it's somebody that knew her.
Yeah. So this introduces Craig Crimmins, a 21-year-old stagehand. So Craig was a stagehand who had been seen talking to Helen earlier before the performance and during intermission, saying that a dancer was looking for her on the 4th floor. Which people thought was weird because the dancers wouldn't be on the 4th floor anyway.
So why would a dancer be looking for a violinist?
Exactly. So that's why
maybe they're friends or whatever, but like
maybe they're friends, but either way, people basically immediately were like, that was weird. So Craig also missed his first cue when the orchestra returned from intermission.
Red flag.
Yeah, so he was pretty like once they found those two things, it was like, we're gonna talk to this guy. He did admit to her murder. So, yeah, he basically confessed like almost immediately. So the whole idea was basically, I tried to do a lot of research on him because I was like, why? Like, why would a 21-year-old kill a violinist? Like,
Obsession?
that's so random. So that's kind of what it was. It was literally just he thought that she was attractive and was trying to like basically lure her in the elevator. There was said that there was a attempted sexual assault, but nothing actually happened, and that was something that he said that he tried to do, didn't end up working. And then when they got off the elevator, he basically tossed her.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What
So.
a piece of fucking garbage.
I know, right? All because he thought that she was just a little cute and couldn't just ask her on a date. So also she was married, so she wasn't going to be doing anything with him anyway. So
What the fuck?
yes. So in the end, it was a pretty, at least quick wrap up when it comes to the crime. And yeah, and Craig was sentenced to 20 years in prison. He spent a lot
Doesn't seem like
longer.
a lot.
He actually
Okay.
ended up spending a little bit longer. So despite asking for parole, he was denied over and over and over and over again, but he was released from prison in August of 2021. So
Oh, I don't
he's
love
out,
that.
he's out there somewhere.
I don't love that.
Nope. But yeah, so that is the true crime of Helen and her horrible
Oh.
death. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I wasn't even expecting that one. That wasn't the one I was looking for because I have another one.
Oh my god, no.
Mhm.
Shit.
So this name I am going to butcher so bad, and I am so sorry.
Let me.
But
I want
so
to see.
this
I want to see.
okay, so this is Bancho Bancheski.
Ooh, okay.
That may have actually not been that bad. Bancho Bancheski.
Sure.
So I'm going to call him Bancho. So Bancho was born May 5th, 1906 in Bulgaria. He was a very, very well-known singer and was the most famous singer on what we consider the Bulgaria's Broadway before eventually leaving. He made his way to Europe and continued to sing all around Europe, even in like the operas in Vienna. So he was kind of a big deal. And he even played Macbeth in Berlin at one point. So he eventually moved to the U.S. in around the 1950s to try and kind of get on the Broadway opera scene there, which brought him to the Met. He did find it extremely difficult finding work in NYC, given his age and his immigration into the U.S. And so therefore he kind of turned more to coaching and writing political satire.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like whatever works, dude.
Right. The bigger thing is that he was an opera coach, though, and a very, very big, well-known name.
That's cool.
He had an extremely successful career because not only did he speak English and Bulgarian, but he also spoke German, Italian, Russian, and French.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
That's
So
what you call a true polyglot. That's cool.
I know, right? So he often found himself at the Met Opera enjoying the plethora of free tickets that were given to him by friends and students.
Side note, plethora is one of my favorite words in the English language.
You're
I
welcome.
don't know why. I've always loved it. Plethora. I don't know why. It just makes me real happy. Thank you.
You're welcome then. A plethora of tickets. So in 1987, he kind of began to falter in his health and was suffering from depression. Although he had 2 kids, he was, I don't know if single's the right word, but on his own. So single just doesn't sound right. But yeah, he was on his own. So despite having 2 kids. He also had a pretty minor heart attack later that year as well. So it was on January 23rd, 1988, when he attended the matinee performance of Macbeth at the Met Opera. This was an extremely special and important performance, given that it was being broadcast worldwide as a Metropolitan broadcast series.
Cool.
Yeah. So normally when he got his free seats, because he was so well known, he was always in the orchestra in a very, very nice, good seating in the orchestra. However, for this performance, he decided to forego his normal seats and he sat up in the balcony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was during intermission that he went to the balcony railing and kind of looked around, and then turned around and sat on the railing. And then a usher approached him and asked him to get down, and instead he tipped over backwards and fell from the balcony into the orchestra seating.
Oh, fuck, I know about this.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep. He was pronounced dead on the scene, and the rest of the performance was canceled, and it was declared that it was a suicide.
Can you imagine the fucking trauma that the people who saw that have to
Mhm.
live with?
Yeah. I know.
Jesus.
I know. He at least, like, okay, I don't know if at least is the right word, but he at least fell in the aisle and not in any seats on
On
people.
somebody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh,
So,
fuck.
yeah. And then we
Ooh.
have one more.
Oh, no. Okay.
Our last story about the Met Opera is a man named Richard Versailles. So, Richard was born on December 3rd, 1932, and he was an American operatic tenor. He had performed often all around the world, places like Genoa, Tokyo, Vienna, Sydney, and eventually the Met Opera. So, it was on January 5th, 1996, that he was performing the role of Vitek in the Macropolis case at the Met. I probably just butchered that
Yep.
real bad. Anyway, he was playing that part in that show at the Met in 1996. Only a few minutes into his performance, while singing the song "You Can Only Live So Long," Richard suffered from a heart attack while atop a 20-foot ladder.
Oh.
Yeah, he collapsed, and it wasn't until the general manager pulled the fire alarm that the entire audience finally left because they thought it was part of the performance. I know.
Shit.
And Richard was sadly pronounced dead once he arrived at the hospital. So, suffering from the heart attack.
Fuck.
So, yeah. So, that is the Met Opera, which has seen a couple of pretty gruesome deaths. So,
That's horrible.
yeah, the murder of Helen and then the suicide of, what did I say? Bachetto. And then the death of Richard. So,
Oof. Jesus. Those are three very distinct ways to die, too. That's,
I know.
oh, man.
That's what I mean. I was like, this was a very different one than usual.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is my first true crime one.
Damn. Are there spooky ookies here?
No, I didn't look it up because I was like, there's so much here. I'm sure that there are spooky.
I'm sure
ookies.
there gotta be with that amount of. Oh my
Right.
god.
However, though, it is kind of a newish building, so it opened in the 60s. So, but
I don't mean shit.
it was open yesterday and it's still spooky. So, yeah. So that is the story of the Met Opera.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I didn't know his name, but I knew about the guy who had like committed suicide of like during a show. I was like, that's real fucked up of you to do. Like,
I know, right? Yeah. Well, and that's what made me think about it was like I'd written it down because of him, because you talked about him in your Macbeth part. So when we talked about
I wondered that's what it okay.
And that's when I was like, oh, I'm gonna write down the Met as like a story that we can do. And I was looking for his story, and then that's when I found Helen's story, and I was like,
damn.
Oh my gosh. So
Phew.
yeah. Well, are you ready to bring things back up to a happier note with some spooky ookies?
No, I don't know that I'd say happier.
More upbeat?
It's slightly more upbeat, I guess. Because where do spooky ookies come from?
Happy places. Happy cows come from California. Happy ghosts come from who knows? Come from Vermont. I don't know.
Sure. Hi, baby. Hi. Just a very needy girl right here. This one.
You're such a cutie.
Say hi.
Hi, Kiri.
This girl. This is this girl. This needy girl. This one. Anyway, so I'm covering this time the Savannah Theater in Savannah, Georgia.
I love Savannah, Georgia. That is a spooky place.
So what's fun is that a lot of people, especially people from Savannah or that live in Savannah, will tell you it's the most haunted place in the United States. I'm like,
yeah,
sure. But this does go along with it, so it's kind of a fun story, I will say.
Nice.
So the Savannah Theater opened its doors on December 8th of 1818.
Whoa, that's old.
Yeah.
Nice.
There are people that will say that it is the oldest theater in the US, but
Mhm.
I
I feel like you said that last
Yeah.
week not last week, 2 weeks ago for the Dock Street one too.
right. Because
So-
so the thing with Savannah Theater is that it was opened as a performing arts theater, and then like many other places, it turned into a movie theater, blah blah blah. So to
Mhm.
me, it's not the longest running, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But the people that work there will tell you that it is.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, it opened on 1818. That's insane.
1818, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it was not continually running as a theater, as
Right.
a like performance venue. Anyway,
Mhm.
so it opened December 4th, 1818, with a production of the comedy The Soldier's Daughter and a farce called Raising the Wind. Cannot find information about those. I'm sure there's somewhere they exist.
It was 1818. Who knows?
I mean, yeah. The original structure was designed by the notable British architect William J. And over the past 2 centuries, the Savannah Theater has showcased an array of talented performers, including, this is very impressive actually,
Mhm.
Oscar Wilde, Sarah
Oh.
Bernhardt, W.C. Fields, Tyrone Power, and Lillian Russell. And then on top of that, Edwin Booth, our good friend Edwin,
And Edwin Booth.
as opposed to his shitbag brother, Edwin Booth played several engagements at the theater in February of 1876 with Shakespearean roles including Hamlet, the one that he is most well known for,
Right.
Iago in Othello, and King Lear.
Nice.
And then here's the weirdest, I mean, this is so strange. In 1911, baseball player Ty Cobb, and people who know about baseball, I'm sure, are like, oh my God, Ty Cobb, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah,
Ty
I know
Cobb
that is.
appeared in a comedy called The College Widow.
Okay.
This was actually at the height of his fame.
Oh.
And to me, it is very unclear as to why this was done, except that he's famous and he's from Georgia. So to me, it's like, here's the introduction of stunt casting.
Oh.
Like,
Nice.
here's just there's a newspaper article, you can like look at the front page of it. It's like Ty Cobb in The College Widow. And I'm like, but for why?
But why? Why do we cast him? Yeah.
Why do we do baseball?
I know, right?
I just
Baseball.
anyway.
Next thing we know, Travis Kelce is going to be on Broadway.
Listen, don't put that in the universe.
I take it back.
don't allow that. Oh God, there have been worse things, but yes, it is the exact same sentiment for me.
Yeah.
So let's get to a bit of destruction and haunting debuts.
Yes.
That's what I wrote. Haunting debuts. Sure.
Haunting debuts. Debuts.
So in 1827, the theater caught fire. Shocking.
Darn. We didn't go one episode without the fire.
Listen, that's kind of a running theme.
I know. No, I mean, I don't mean to like shit on the fires. It's just funny that they're
just shit on fire.
It would just make it worse. No.
I don't.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I just,
That was excellent.
thank you. I just mean that, yeah. I mean, I know that I'm making fun of the fact that it's always a fire, but they're still interesting stories.
That would make it worse. Oh, God damn it. Oh, fuck. Anyway,
Oh, man.
so this fire in 1827, there was actually not much structural damage, but according to more than one source, a few patrons and even an actress may have died in that fire.
Oh.
There's very little information, but there is more than one source that says this.
Okay.
So, and then in 1898, there was a hurricane that ripped through Savannah, and the roof of the theater was torn off, and the auditorium flooded.
That's fair.
And though it was remodeled, it was nearly leveled again in 1906 when yet another fire ripped through it.
Damn it.
And had to be yet again remodeled.
Oh,
Though this time, nobody died, and the elaborate facade which originally the one by William J, which is very, very elaborate, beautiful,
Mhm.
was replaced by standard brick. So delightful.
That's maybe a
Um,
little bit smarter.
And then in 1948, can you guess what happened in 1948?
A fire.
Yes!
Really?
That's right, kids. Another fire.
Oh my gosh, that's the
Yes.
third one. Oh
That
my
sure
gosh.
is.
Jeez.
And then, so after 1948, the building was then happily transformed to its current style, which is a beautiful, gorgeous Art Deco style. It is
Mm.
really, really beautiful.
Art Deco doesn't burn down, so that makes sense.
It's one of its most well-known qualities is for being fire.
Art Deco, beautiful, intricate designs that all cohesively come together, and also it's fireproof. It's in a shape like a witch's shape, to where it like wards off fire.
I'm sure that's it.
Yeah, that's obviously it. Also, I was just thinking, is this why this theater is not technically the oldest theater, because it's burned down too many times?
So many times. I'm gonna say yes.
Mhm. They're like, you can only be the oldest if you haven't burnt to the
If you
freaking ground.
Down 3 times. Like,
Mhm.
come on. Anyway. So it was transformed to its current Art Deco style and reopened on October 21st of 1950 as a movie house with a screening of the movie Mr. 88, which is not something that I know, but there you go.
Yeah,
And then it was in August 2002, it was rebranded as a professional theater, though it was a community theater before that, but I had trouble finding the date of when it became from a movie house back into like a performing arts theater.
Mhm.
But it was a community theater, and then in 2002, it became the Savannah Theater, which is a regional professional theater now.
Mhm.
Hi. So, I just have to say, I tried to write the phrase on my document, so, period, many, period, spooky, period, ookies.
Ooh.
But of course, this is in Google Docs, so it changed it to so many spooky cookies.
Spooky cookies.
Spooky cookies, that's our new thing. So
Yeah,
many
we're gonna call them from now on. They're spooky cookies.
So, let's start that even in 1895, the theater was reported to be haunted.
Oh wow.
Yes, local police were summoned on more than one occasion, getting reports of applause or a quote unquote ruckus coming from inside the theater, even though it was closed and empty.
Not a ruckus.
A ruckus! A whole ruckus!
Oh gosh. Oh, the humanity.
But there is none because it's empty.
Because it's empty. Oh, the humanity.
And after that, the police actually stopped investigating as they never discovered a source of any of these noises. But they were like, it's just ghosts applauding. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then also in 1895, the owner at the time was making his rounds before anyone else arrived one morning. When he entered the dressing room, he was stunned to see that a small fire had ignited during the hours of the night. Yes, another fire. But it subsequently had burned quite a noticeable hole in the floor, but nothing else in the dressing room was damaged, and the fire had seemingly put itself out.
Huh.
He said you wouldn't have even known that there was a fire there, except for the eerie circular hole burnt right into the center of the room.
Interesting.
Just
Okay.
weird. Just weird.
Yeah, that is really weird.
Yeah. And nobody would have known about it if he hadn't just like been making the rounds and he was like, let's just check on the what is that circle.
Yeah. What is this? Excuse me. What is this?
Like, sorry, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then another occasion, which is the year is unknown. I couldn't find documentation of when this was, but it was still in the 19th century, so in the 1800s. A group of female performers were forced out of the dressing room when they all had a strong collective feeling of being watched.
Oh.
The women fled the dressing room before suiting up. So, like, half of them were half dressed.
Yeah.
Refusing to return until the matter was solved.
You.
Like, dude, there is somebody watching us. We are all feeling it. We're
Yeah.
getting the fuck out of here until you figure this out. Goodbye.
Yeah, you guys fix this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So let's get into who we think and maybe even know could be the spooky ooky haunty peoples.
Yes,
So,
please.
so one of the most well-known spirits to haunt the Savannah Theater is known as Betty.
Mhm.
She was supposedly an actress in the early 19th century, and she is the one who is apparently trapped in the dressing room during the fire of 1827.
Oh,
So she is the actress that was killed in the fire.
oh, poor lady.
And what's crazy is that there's the records of the people who actually did die. There is one woman whose name is Elizabeth,
Mm-hmm.
which is Betty is short for Elizabeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
there you go.
Interesting.
She can be seen on the stage, but she has been reported by technicians, actors, even patrons as being
Ooh.
on the stage. The favorite one that I heard was from an interview with a man named Chris Sosi, who is a longtime veteran of the theater. He used to work there when it was a community theater and now is a director and sometimes actor.
Nice.
And so he had directed a production of Barefoot in the Park. And after the show, people were asking about the woman in the hoop skirt that they saw in the skylight. And he was like, we didn't have anybody costumed in a hoop skirt. Where did you see her? And they're like, oh, up on the skylight right there. There's like a kind of a raked ceiling kind of thing with a skylight. And he was like, there's not a platform up there. People can't like stand up there. It's just a skylight. So they were like seeing a woman in a hoop skirt
Just like
in this skylight, just
floating.
like just there.
Oh, that's nice.
And on top of that, so the performance was filmed, that one that people were talking about.
Uh-huh.
But upon review of the tape, what can instead be seen instead of a woman is a wisp of what he describes as like cigarette smoke.
Okay.
And I'm like, where's this footage? I need to see this.
I know. I want to see that.
I want to see it.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
We finally have a ghostie on camera.
Right? Where's the footage?
Where's the proof? Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? And then the next spirit is a little boy, sometimes referred to as Ben. He is most often seen in the balcony, and he tends to run across the house aisles, but more often he's just mischievous. He will lock the spotlights in place so you can't manipulate them.
Gosh,
and he even put a cable in a knot, like tied a knot in one of the spotlight cables. Pulls on hair, pulls on clothes. And one theory is that he is the spirit of a boy whose name was actually Ben, who was stuck and trampled to death during one of the fires in during the 1948 fire. So one theory about this Benjamin is that he is the spirit of a boy who was stuck and unfortunately trampled to death during that fire in 1848. There is record of there being a Benjamin that is one of the young boys that died.
Wow. That's crazy that this place has like actual records of these people now.
Yeah. So I mean that's one, I don't know if it's a good thing, but one interesting thing about, with American theaters, that because the records are so recent, like, there's a better chance of us having actual, like, we still have the records of these people.
True.
So
yeah, that's true.
And then there's another well-known one who is usually referred to as the director.
Okay.
Some people will hear bravo or well done or a single person clapping, usually from up in the mezzanine. He is sometimes seen also, and he is considered a distinguished older gentleman with a British accent.
Interesting.
So, according to this same Chris Sosi, during the time that the theater was a movie house, there was a projectionist named George who unfortunately did have a heart attack and passed away inside the projection booth. George was British. So staff had started referring to this director character as George.
Oh,
yeah.
Snap.
but he's apparently very friendly and just likes to congratulate people on doing a good job. So
Oh, that's very
keep up
sweet.
the good work, everybody. So that's
Keep up
very
the good
sweet.
work.
And then there's one I found on. This is quoted from a post by someone named Carithier 2. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Somebody on Reddit who says they used to be a roadie or PA, etc. And they said the only odd thing, after a strike one night, I went to put out the ghost light and we saw our director in the house. I told him, "We're done and out. Do you need anything?" And he said, "No, thank you," from behind us on stage.
Oh, I like
Nobody
that.
was there.
Ooh.
And he told that story for years, they say.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Like you see somebody out in the house and you're like, "Hey, do you need anything else?" And a voice behind you says, "No, thank you." You're like,
like,
I have
excuse me.
a thing. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm never coming back.
And I will say there's also some really fun evidence from the TV show Portals to Hell with Jack Osborne. I highly recommend watching it. That is a really good episode.
Okay.
And like if you had told me 20 years ago that I would be really into Jack Osborne as a paranormal investigator, I would have been like, "Are you
sure? Yeah.
Chubby kid that's like Ozzy Osbourne's kid, right? That's who we're talking about."
Oh my gosh. Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah. So yes, I definitely recommend watching that Portals to Hell show. It's kind of fun anyway.
Nice.
But yes, that is the Savannah Theater in Savannah, Georgia, with all its spooky cookies.
Ooh, I like that one that has like evidence-based stuff. I need to do a better job of like finding like I love it when you have like the Reddit users and stuff like that. And so
yeah, I love those. I love those.
Oh man. But yeah, just like the fact that you can like go back through and find like their names. Ooh.
Yeah. Like her literal name is Elizabeth. That kid's actual name was Ben.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So at least, I mean, there's a part of me that's like, that's even better because then you get to kind of honor them and like keep their memory alive. So they're not just like, "I'm being forgotten and that's why I'm haunting this place." It's like, no, we're actually like, we salute you.
Like, like, hello. We can call you by your name. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Because what is that saying that's like, after 3 or 4 generations, if your name is no longer being said, then you're being forgotten?
Something like that.
God, that's
let's not think about that.
Ew, mortality. Ugh.
Gross. I hate it.
Solve that. We should hurry up and like fix that. Come on, science.
Yeah, I know. Come on, science. This is
come on, all these fucking STEM kids at NC State.
Right? This is definitely the most important thing on the docket.
I mean, that's like the biggest fear everyone has. I feel like we should focus on that maybe.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just going to be ghosts. It'll be fine.
That's true. I'm going to hunt the shit out of you if I die first. You know that, right?
Ooh, yeah, I hope so. We should come up with like the key thing, like key phrase or thing that we would do to each other to where you know. That's exactly what it would be. It would just be somebody just in your ear.
I can't.
You can't turn your arm that way. Yep, that would be mine.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know. I don't know what else I would do though. Like physical thing that I would do. I'll have to think about it. Drink all your alcohol.
Pinch the men's butts.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what we're gonna do when we're together. When we're both ghosts together. We gotta find a theater and like get really connected with it so that we both end up there no matter.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm down. I'm down.
Pick the nicest one that we think will be around for a while.
Right.
Well, because for me right now it'd be the Al Hirschfield Theater, the Moulin Rouge Theater.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
I want to be on Broadway. I want to be a stagehand ghost.
I would join you.
Pinch Aaron Tveit's butt. Yeah, pinch. And they're like, in the middle of singing like the most beautiful song, like in like the whole musical or whatever, and then you just hear in a microphone just
I'm down. Let's do
Okay,
it. We're making a
sounds
ghost
good.
pact.
Ghost pack. Done. That could be a merchandise thing. Pinch the men's butts and ghost pack.
Ghost pact. Yes,
Mhm.
I'm down.
What theater are you haunting? Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Start making some
Tell
merch.
us, everyone, what theater are you haunting?
Yeah. Ooh, that would be
Ooh.
fun. Yes, I want to
Mhm.
hear about that.
Mhm.
Nice. Well, cool. Oh man, I feel like
I
this was
want
a
to
good
haunt
one.
the Estates Theater in Prague because it's gorgeous.
Just because it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I would probably do the Al Hirschfield as of right now, but as soon as Moulin Rouge leaves, then I'm gonna be like, well, I don't want to be here anymore. Oh man. But yeah. Well, cool. Very good stories. This
We
is a
did
good one.
it.
We done did it. This is a good week, especially with our weird ass situation. I feel weird in a hotel room. Like every time that I hear somebody outside, I'm like, oh man.
Say bye to the people. Come here.
Say bye bye, kitty.
Come
Oh, I
here.
miss my babies.
Hi, come here. Come here. You can do it. You can do it. She's not so sure.
Yeah,
She's
she's
not-
like, no, that's
Come
okay.
here.
Oh, Gizzy. Oh man. Well, we'll do this again soon. I'm proud of us for doing this.
We did it.
Yay. Yay, we did it. Pinch, pinch.
Peach, peach.
Until next time, don't forget to leave the ghost light on. Thank you for joining us. Leave the Ghost Light On was created, hosted, and edited by Danica Jackson and Jill Horn.
Musical composition created by Jay Nygaard.
Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, and more.